feelings at any level, but the shit is fire.
Baby, let's get
Hold on, wait, you gotta hear this shit.
You heard her about her persona, but you met her in person. What do you?
She's a baby doll, sweetheart. Well, we already know this.
Because people think she's, and then meet her in person, you're like,
yeah, it's just a perception that everybody else has. But once they get past that part, she's normal, just like us. Just like real people, That's the difference. When you're authentic, people can't take it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, because people say the same thing about me. They're like, oh, I thought you was gonna be an ass. And I'm like, bro, I'm so sweet. I'm chilling. You know what I mean? And I feel like she'll just handle people how they treat her. And that's just what it is. And that's just law with anything. Yeah.
Hey, Grace, are you there?
I am. So I want a titties. I want a children.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Well, here we are. It's been an interesting day, Grace.
Oh, has it really?
Oh my God. Ooh, the smoke got me.
All right.
I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that. You remember her, Sweet Brown? Ain't nobody got time for that lady.
Yeah, girl. Mm-hmm.
Do you remember her?
Uh-huh.
Nah, that was one of my favorite monologues from a ghetto queen ever.
Oh,
she got out there. Sweet Brown got out there. Ooh, and she was sitting there with the news. And the news was just, ooh. And they asked her what happened. And Sweet Brown said, well, I was just upstairs having a cold pop. And then the next thing I know, I smell the smoke. I look at this fire. I said, Lord Jesus, there's a fire. I didn't get no shoes or nothing, Jesus. I ran for my life. And then the smoke got me. Got bronchitis. Nobody got time for that. Oh, shout out to the early Throwback Thursday moment. Sweet Brown. Oh my goodness. No, look, she took that little moment and she ran with it. She made it to reality TV shows. Didn't she get put in a Tyler Perry film at one point in time? Like Sweet Brown. And then she was working it and then they phased on out.
Girl. They always phasing people out.
Isn't that funny how viral moments work?
It's interesting. Like, they're going to study it.
They're
going to study it for decades.
Because what people don't understand about going viral, it means that you have gotten to touch mass amounts of people at one time. So clearly, if you have a viral moment, you would think that if it was important enough for it to like really be celebrated, and revered. Why in God's name do we remember people? What was her name? I don't want to get it wrong. Siri. What's the name of the woman who did Where's the Beef? Clara Peller. and
Oh,
Russian-born American manicurist and television personality. Clara Peller was, Russian-born American manicurist, television personality who already an octogenarian. No, octogenarian.
I've never heard that word before.
Starred in the 1984 Where's the Beef commercial. Okay, look, since we here, Siri, what does octogenarian mean? A person who was born from 80 to 89 years. What? They there'd be so many spell types and typos on Google. It don't make no sense. Okay,
what is
so
it? I missed the end part. I think it came out. It said a woman that's.
Hold on a second. Siri, what is an oh goodness, I done forgot. No, Siri, what is an octogenarian?
Octogenarian.
An octogenarian is a person who is between 80 and 89 years old. Okay, so basically octa, 8, octagon. All right, and then generic.
An elder?
Okay. So yeah,
an elder in their 80s?
An elder. Yeah, an elder in their 80s.
Girl,
you gotta love the American language.
All right, yeah, we'll leave it at that. Girl, they play too much
because they create these words for things. I don't understand. Why can't you just say she was in her 80s? Like I don't. Oh.
Girl, they octogenarian. I'm through.
I love it. I love learning a new word.
So do I. But we're gonna leave that at. Girl.
Our dear matriarch sister Natanya Rubin was talking about her because apparently Clara Peller, the What's the Beef lady, passed away recently, and she was talking about how of all of the things that woman did in the almost century she was here, the only thing that people remember is Where's the Beef? And for the 80s, that would have been considered viral. But at least we remember 34 years later what, we know what that is. Like, where's the beef? Like, for those of us who are Gen Xers, it's ingrained in our memory. So when someone says, who's that? Where's the beef? And you go and look up the Where's the Beef commercial and it says Clara Peller. Now she did a lot more than that. But that was a moment that was a big splash and we remembered it. Fast forward 30 years. Sweet Brown. Now, the Ain't Nobody Got Time for That was a huge viral moment. People made songs out. Do you remember the little Ain't Nobody Got Time for That? Anybody got time for that? Yeah. Lord Jesus, it was viral. They did all of the remixes and it was huge. And like I said, Sweet Brown was able to take that and push it over into a lightweight entertainment career out of nowhere just because of personality. But if I say Ain't Nobody Got Time for That now, and I say Where's the Beef now, more people will remember Where's the Beef than Ain't Nobody Got Time for That. Isn't that funny?
That's crazy.
I bring up Sweet Brown. I say Ain't Nobody Got Time for That. And people like, oh, that was familiar. Where did I hear that from? Whoopty whoopty whoop. You know what I mean? But and the young people, I don't even think they know who Sweet Brown is. Yet when they were babies, that was a huge viral moment. So I'm saying all of that to say, you have Clara Peller, Where's the Beef? You have Sweet Brown. Ain't nobody got time for that. Huge viral moments. But for whatever reason, the digital age version has been quickly forgotten. And the regular pop culture version, because Where's the Beef was before the internet, many years before the internet. So you would think that that would have been forgotten. But that's not what happened. Clara Peller, though she did so much more with her life than commercials, she was best known for Where's the Beef. Why won't Sweet Brown be remembered that way? And it has nothing to do with color, in my opinion. It has everything to do with the mind capability of the day. Like, people don't remember anything anymore. They rely on short brains. Yeah, it is.
Oh, I wouldn't play. The average person has the attention span of a squirrel.
I know, which is crazy.
Oh yeah,
because if you're that distracted, how can you notice what's really going on?
Girl, they're so blind. They're so blind.
So, I guess I bring about all of that to say we have gotten to the point where we're so self-reliant on technology that we can't even remember our lives anymore. We can't even remember ourselves anymore. We can't even remember these huge pop culture moments that just happened 2 weeks ago. Like, let's talk about Allie Carter for a second. Now, Allie Carter was the hottest YouTube thumbnail right after the new year. And they stayed on it for a good 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden they forgot all about it. And now they're stalking and harassing me again. It's like every time they go to try to chase somebody else, they don't like the smell of wind coming out of their behind, but they got to keep their head jammed firmly up mine because they just love the smell. It's wild. And then all of the stories that they tell and all of the lies that they tell day after day after day. So when I get accosted in my real life by someone who doesn't know me, someone who's never even had the pleasure to spend time with me, like Dr. Angela White, aka Black China.
That's wild.
I mean, that's why we opened up with the clip. You should really hear who I am from someone who's met me, spent time with me, knows me. So if you're running around hollering at me, screaming at me, threatening me, doing all kinds of crazy things, you don't know me. We never really met. I come by your house once and we were invited to a barbecue, but then disinvited because you chose who you wanted to be on whose side during a divorce. Unfortunately, it just wasn't your family. Not your blood.
Girl.
It was the ex-wife who works allegedly in Hollywood, who's supposed to be a big TV producer and probably promising everyone something or other. It's just weird. Can you imagine somebody running up on you and accosting you about a bunch of lies that someone said on an app? And by the way,
girl,
they don't know nobody.
Girl. Ain't nobody about to run up on shit.
Well, that's not what I heard. That's not
what you heard, girl.
I heard,
girl.
that I'm gonna get beat up. Matter of fact, I was told I was gonna be beat up at my wedding.
By who, girl? Who playing with you like that, girl?
Someone who I will never refer to as sister-in-law.
Girl,
Ever.
Listen. All right,
but
that's cute.
What makes it even more interesting was, let's look at the timeline. Now, we're not going to say any of the children involved's names.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just say child A, or actually we'll just say nephew and child A and child B. Now,
I'm going to refer to them as the babies.
Exactly. Nobody needs to know who these children are. No one needs to know their names. No one needs to see any pictures. But
everybody needs to go get a job in my neck. Please continue, T.D.
What we are going to do is we're going to talk about the details of this very, very, very awful situation that could have been and still could be dangerous for some of us involved. Now, let's just be clear. You and I, Grace, we have a very, very, very special relationship.
Yo, it's what time, anytime. What you talking about, girl? Don't nobody get the title of TD around here. No.
I hear you. But I don't think people understand when you have a spiritual accountability partner. It's a very unique relationship because each person involved is dedicated to making sure the other person doesn't fall short. Making sure the other person always has the ability to step up or know when they need to. Great relationships.
Absolutely.
Important relationships. So everything that we're about to say regarding this very explosive threat and situation, it goes back a ways. So we're going to take our time and break it down.
Girl, listen, I'm in the passenger seat of my seatbelt song. TD, where we going today?
Why don't we start with, let's just let everybody hear for themselves right quick. And this was a conversation that happened this evening in my real life by someone who apparently is invested into trying to destroy my real life. So let's see. Let's meet the never gonna be my sister-in-law sister. Can you hear that okay, Grace?
You know what? So, JB won't fuck with you, but I'll beat your ass. You fuck ass bitch, and then fuck you too, nigga. You don't have this bitch call me and talk shit to me and talk shit about your bitch. Say, yo, nephew. Y'all are some crazy, dumbass motherfuckers. And y'all like call me on my phone with that bullshit.
Seems like you should mind your business then. What's that person?
You
What's involved in craziness?
You need to family though. You need to mind your business. You need to worry about
your
that
family.
shit.
I'm marrying your brother.
Bitch.
I'm marrying your brother.
You need to worry about
time. You're not invited to the wedding. None of you are invited to the wedding.
I will beat your ass, bitch, at the wedding.
Oh, I already know you won't. I'm not going to forget.
You know what, bitch?
You don't know me. You don't know me. You said you threatened me $18 million.
You don't know me. You don't know me.
I know all about you, your daughter. Your daughter told me.
You don't know
all
me.
about you.
Lies. Just like how you do on YouTube. Lies. You need to go to the next institution, bitch, and get some help.
You've been talking to it. Who's having it?
Your child
You've been talking to it.
hasn't been anyway. You don't know this. You don't know who I'm talking to.
Oh, I know you talk to
You don't know who I'm talking to.
Oh, I know
who I'm talking to. You don't know that.
You're not that smart, ma'am. You're not that smart.
If you're not that same bitch you're saying,
I'm not that sick about
you're
it.
mentally disturbed. Brother is mentally disturbed, and y'all going down a dark rabbit hole, and you guys are
Tell
stupid
me
as fuck.
something. How is he disturbed? Where did you get that diagnosis from?
Nothing, because I know my brother.
No, you don't. You barely know him. The whole thing you've done is stab him in the back and use
You don't
it.
even know your stuff.
You stab him in the back and use it.
Women ass, fat ass, big thigh that you had on YouTube, you ain't got this stuffy ass bitch. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't got no plans about
You know?
yourself. You ain't got
You
no
forget
plans
that
about
I
yourself.
know exactly what you look like.
And I don't give a fuck. Just take a picture. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, I haven't met
I don't give a fuck.
I guess they're all the same.
I don't give a fuck. Since you ain't never come to my household.
You feel like a child. Now I see why the idea is so immature. You know your grandson doesn't know how many days of the week. Your grandson doesn't even know how many days are in a week. Actually, no, he was taken in by the state, and now he's grooming children on Discord. Your grandson is grooming children on Discord. Why don't you get your keys, Miss Chandler, and get your bucket and go drown your head? Maybe that'll help you get your stuff together. Neither do I. Neither do I. Actually, no, I don't. You don't know anything about it. The only thing that you see on YouTube, which goes to show you're fucking nuts if you believe anything that you see on YouTube. Go to the bush and holler, you punk ass bitch, you a sorry asshole, and you ain't gonna let me get nowhere in life. You talk about people, and you pay your rent, and pay your motherfucking mortgage home. I'm a hard fucking blue collar woman. Yeah, you're really a toy.
You wanna make fun of that shit? If you wanna make fun of that bitch, I stay with it.
You clean toilets. That's why you're always in shit.
I'm a proud motherfucking janitor.
Yeah, you damn right. Come on, Brooke. Come on, Brooke. Get down. Come on, Brooke. Give us a show. Come on, let's see you get your feather duster out. Let's see you get your feather duster out, janitor. You want to know what I think is funny? That nothing like you actually thinks that what you're saying is following. Nothing. Nothing. You don't know your own grandson. Like you're pathetic. You got a grandson in your door. Just all over when sign away. Your daughter got her son and signing him away. You don't even know you're doing shit. That's how I know you are nothing mother. That's how I know you are nothing mother. You don't even know your grandchild. I don't know, maybe you would have put something into his mouth. Maybe that would have led to my wedding. Your grandson wets the bed at 13, ma'am. You got that.
You are nasty. You're ugly. You got ugly ways. You ugly inside. You're ugly. You are not. You are ugly. You're nasty. You
janitor.
You're
not hurting my feelings. But you know what? I think I'm gonna make you famous. You think I'm gonna show? Oh no, I'm gonna put all the disrespect in the janitor.
And you know what? I'm gonna make you famous. I'm gonna do it. You know what?
You a favor to the attention.
Let me tell you something, devil. Let me tell you something, devil.
To get you the attention you're looking
you ain't nothing but the devil. You ain't nothing but the devil.
No, you're the devil.
No weapon formed against me.
But let her girlfriends have her friends.
No weapon.
Sex
No
with her
weapon
child.
formed against me shall
Oh,
prosper.
honey.
No
Weapon
weapon
formed
formed
against
against me.
You seen your
No
life
weapon formed against me shall prosper.
already. Already abandoned you. God has already abandoned you, ma'am. Don't do this. He abandoned you. Look at your daughter. Look at your grandson. I abandoned you a long time ago.
God abandoned me. He abandoned you. He abandoned you.
I serve the
He abandoned you.
living God.
I am the
Disciple of
Yes,
Yeshua
you are.
and his teachings. And
You are the one.
you're going to
You
hell.
are the one.
You are going to hell, man.
You get beat up. You ugly like you hit with a bag of
All those men that you let attack
That's how ugly you are.
hope they
That's how ugly you are. You ugly. You ugly inside and out.
See
Oh,
what your people look like.
Wait.
See what your people look like. Don't do that. Don't do that. What your daughter look like. I know what you
You
look like.
are the player. You are
What
the
your
player.
daughter look like.
I'm
What you look like. You should be careful. You should be careful.
I'm not gonna be careful.
You don't want nobody accidentally leave pictures of what you really look like online. See,
But I'm telling you something.
that's the
You
problem.
always do that
You
show
can
down.
only
I'm
have
confident.
an audience of 2.
Yeah.
2 millions. What you should be doing is calling your daughter.
Did you hear that?
Girl, that was so ignorant. I still couldn't get past all the yelling. But I tried to hear everything. I heard what I heard.
You know what I heard a
Fine.
lot of?
What you hear a lot of?
What I find funny is that she said that we called her. We didn't call her. She called us.
Mhm.
And she called us more than once. That
Oh.
wasn't everything that she said, and I'm not going to expose everything that she said. But what I find interesting is for someone who doesn't know me, never met me, has no relationship with her brother, who I live with every day. You know, in just a couple of months, it will be a year. It's wild. Our 1-year anniversary is literally my birthday. And what I find so am I. What I find so interesting, though, is that after we first got together and she flaked on us because she decided to team up with the ex-wife against her own brother, which, in my opinion, is extremely disloyal. It's extremely disloyal.
Girl,
She's not a first wife. She's not a first wife. She's not the only wife. She's the second wife, and she was married the shortest amount of time to her brother. And considering the kind of people these are, this isn't about family values. Did you hear how many times I tried to speak to her about her daughter and her grandson?
Yeah. She
had nothing to say.
She had so much reckless stuff coming out of her mouth that I'm just like, did she even? I really doubt she even heard you. Until, like,
she heard me because on one of the other recordings, she actually said, when I said, your grandson is carrying on deviant behavior online. Well, you're a pervert. You're a pervert. She actually said that to me.
Oh, wow.
What did your mama do to you? What did your mama do to you? Your mama's stupid. And I'm like,
how do you know about my mama, man? Like, you saying that you saying that with your chest. Where would you get an opinion if you don't know me?
That part. And once again, let's be clear about this. Every insult that she said Have you heard it before?
Yeah. The things she was saying were very familiar.
Where did you hear them? Those things she was saying.
Right here on this app on YouTube from a lot of different content creators.
Specific
a few of them come to
content
mind.
creators.
Well, a few of them come to mind.
Like who?
I heard Danny. Those rhetorics came out of her mouth. Who else?
And that
World.
picture, her talking about King World and King Pain, when she kept talking about your nasty thighs and you fat and sloppy and nasty. Newsflash, ma'am. That picture isn't even of me. It's a picture that a weirdo sub and moderator who floats back and forth between King Pain and Danny Robinson. She don't know who she's more loyal to these days. It seems like everyone's abandoned King Pain, but they do like to use all of his weird stuff. I can't call it evidence and I can't call it receipts, because a receipt is supposed to be a verifiable record of what actually transpired. How can you call a picture of an obese woman who has some real nasty rash on the inside of her leg with her face down and some weirdo ankle bracelet on? I haven't worn an ankle bracelet since the 90s. I haven't worn an ankle bracelet, and it's like insane. Like, you can look at the picture and anyone who knows me knows that's not me. But did you hear the way? And you nasty and messing with that woman, and y'all look like y'all have AIDS. You lobbying a whole lot of
girl. That's when
craziness.
she was being ignorant. I ain't hear that, girl.
But
that's
it's
real
specific,
just very bald headed. Like,
it's wild to me. It's wild to me because she's like 300 pounds.
Girl, stop. Hold the press. You want to say that again for the children in the back, girl?
Yeah, she's like 300 pounds.
With all that hostility, she came on the phone with. See, girl, this is why. Remember we was talking about bald-headed whole behavior, girl. Girl.
But for her to be using that kind of jargon with me, the YouTube rhetoric that comes from specific hateful platforms. Either you're a subscriber and a viewer of this very awful content filled with nothing but lies, or someone's telling you all these things.
Because she didn't slip up on none of those talking points. It's almost like she had a list.
Yeah, like somebody was either there coaching her, because you know what? I'm not gonna play it all, but I just want to show everybody how it all began, how these vicious phone calls began today.
Hey, it's returning your call.
Hey, what's going on, bro?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm blessed. Just was trying to see what was going on.
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay. Just was trying to see, let you know that.
Okay, now there was a name that was said that I don't want anyone to hear. Hold on a second.
Oh, you're fine too.
Hold on a second. Okay, here we go.
You know,
for your grandson?
for my grandson. Are you praying for yourself?
Do yourself a favor. Don't question me about anything. With everything, your daughter told you what you did to her.
Let me tell you something. You a liar and my daughter's a liar. All of you are
Mm.
That's how it began.
Well, no wonder it was so hostile by the time, it ended. Not her talking about some my daughter is a liar. Oh my. I shudder to think.
That's funny because her ex-husband disclosed to someone in the family that everything the daughter was saying was true.
Oh.
Ain't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't that just
It's frightening how people don't
compelling?
pay attention.
Do you know what I paid attention to?
Mm-hmm.
You heard how I came into the conversation. Are you praying for your grandson?
Ain't get no damn.
Now,
Ain't get no damn. Go to church.
since we're talking about this situation, oh, so she did read them. She read the text messages at 3:57 p.m. Hold on.
Girl.
Now, at 12:31 p.m., I reached out to the grandson's mother. That woman who just did all of that craziness, her daughter. So I sent her daughter a message saying, I just called. Please answer. It's regarding your son and what happens next. This is important. Don't ignore if you truly care about your son. Understand that the situation will not be ignored and guardianship is still in place. Now, I sent that at 12:31 p.m. And thanks to iPhones, it shows me that she read it at 3:57 p.m. So when I look at the timing on these conversations that were recorded from her mother, that didn't happen until after 4:30. And she had called 20 minutes or so before. And we were busy doing something. So when Odell called back was when we were situated and able to make a call. So let's look at the timing. Today at 12:31 p.m., I reached out to the mother of the child that Odell currently still has temporary guardianship of. Okay. Okay. That was at 12:31 p.m. Now, what I found interesting is between 12:31 p.m. and when she read this at 3:57 p.m., there was a content creator that went live online around 3 o'clock. The robot, Dummy Danny. And one of the first things that when does she do content all night long, take a nap, stay up posting stuff online, and then go back live again in the middle of the day? That doesn't sound like somebody that's getting much sleep.
Girl.
All of this sounds very unhealthy. So let's look at it. the woman we heard cursing me out, calling me 80 billion bitches, and threatening to do physical harm to me and beat me up at my wedding.
Girl, while sitting at 300 pounds. Oh no.
She can't even breathe.
Oh.
At that size, she can barely breathe. And that's why it sounded like she was fit to have a stroke on the phone.
Oh no. Oh no.
She should watch out. Her other sister had a stroke too. It could be hereditary. But I just want to go over the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
I tell everyone this morning on Maggie's channel that the situation of our so-called house being doxed, right? She went live to say, Jag wasn't blame me. She said that I used the kid. I don't know what she's talking about. And my source is this, and my source is that, and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. But see, that doesn't work because of the timing.
It doesn't.
Now, understand this. The situation with this young man is very serious because he's at a crossroad in his life at 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very, very, very influential time in a young person's life. Puberty is very influential.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he is LGBT, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. It's a little odd that he started identifying out of nowhere at 11. But if you remember on the conversation where we were all present, me, you, and the other mother involved, when we called this young man's mother, he relayed to us that her son had been communicating with adults in an inappropriate manner online, and she let him keep a phone.
Yep, I was there. I remember that. You remember how mad I got because of her tone?
Oh, yeah. Do you remember when we first started explaining to her the serious nature of her son's predatory nature with children, with other children?
I remember all of them.
This young man came with us to visit with people that we know. They're a lovely couple. They have children. They're all around the same age. He was the oldest in the house. But the two children who he engaged heavily with are younger than him. Not single digits young, but younger than him. He grew a quick, unnatural affection. And the reason why I'm calling it unnatural is not because he's LGBT, but because when you start allowing yourself to become fixated on someone who couldn't possibly be interested in you in return, that's unnatural. It is not natural to search for affection where you know it won't be returned. That young man is straight, and his parents are straight. They are a straight household, and they have their values. But what made what happened with the young man so scary was none of that stuff was going on while we were there for the visit. But the second that we got his phone turned on and got him a phone for his birthday, he instantly got on the phone, got on Discord, and started texting these children. But he wasn't texting them to stay in touch with them and to see what was going on and hoping that they could have another play date. He was busy trying to get the younger one of the younger children to convince the young man that he was attracted to want him in return. That's way too much going on with children.
Not only that, children at that mental age, they don't operate like that. Like, no
He
one can deny, like,
triangulated. He
Yeah.
triangulated, and then he moved in on the person that he thought liked him the most, that would help him get what he wanted.
mm,
And that was this young man. Like, I'm not going to get too deep right now into it, because the truth is, this is a legal situation at this point.
mhm,
The family is distraught. They are hurt. And the parents, they were forced to punish their own children when they saw the kind of communication that was going on. Addresses were being exchanged. What? What?
That is so
Pertinent
frightening.
information was being exchanged.
Mm-mm.
There was a picture of the young man, just like a normal kid, having fun. He didn't have his shirt on. And the other sibling posted the picture just saying, "This is our core group. This is us here, so you can have pictures of us until we see each other again." You know, very innocent.
Mhm.
And instantly, the comments were, "Is it just me? Or is he fine? Is it just me? I think I'm simping for him." And then he started going further down the rabbit hole of the things he wanted to do with this young man, with the younger sibling. LGBT, fine. If you identify young, that's also fine.
Yeah, all that's fine. But what you just described has nothing to do with none of that.
Nothing to do with any of that.
Mm-mm.
This young man wets the bed at 13. This young man doesn't know how many days are in a week. This young man sleeps so he doesn't have to talk to anyone. Like, I'll never forget, we were sitting down talking one day at breakfast before it was time to go off to school. And I asked him directly, "Do you want to be acknowledged or ignored in life?"
Mm-hmm.
His response was, "I want to be ignored."
Wow. Wow.
And I asked him, "Why would you want that? It's almost like you want to be invisible." And he said, "I just want to be ignored so I don't have to talk to anyone and people will just leave me alone." When he first came to us, he was depressed. He was lost. Even his eating habits. Even his eating habits. He doesn't even know how to appreciate a real home-cooked meal. It has to come out of a box, something in a microwave, something.
That's terrible.
And I would ask him what his favorite foods were, what he liked. I mean, he liked my bacon. He loved my BLTs. I give him that. But just encouraging him to eat more healthy, hygiene, all of that, you know. He's so lost. And a couple of weeks in, you know, I would check in on him in the morning when I was up before it was time to go to school. And I would just ask him, "How did you sleep? Did you have any accidents? Did you have any nightmares? Are you doing okay? How do you feel? Did you wake up invigorated or tired?" And he was like, 50-50. And I was like, "Well, that's an improvement. Because when you first got here, you were tired all the time. Even after you woke up, you were tired." I don't know how many times we went out to go get something to eat, and literally he would ball over and tuck his head either under the table or be sleeping on the table, and then ask, can I go be in the car and be alone? It broke my heart.
Girl, I was there.
Because
you remember.
Oh my God. All of those things are all asymptomatic of someone who has been severely abused.
Mm-hmm.
And considering how young he is, the academic, the acadiddy, discord pimping at 13 with younger children. Not cool. Not cool. Because that means someone taught him this behavior. Children aren't born predators. They're turned into predators. They're Now you remember during the call with the mother and the other mother? When we asked, why didn't you tell us he was bi? Why didn't you tell us that he was already, getting into that part of his life? Why wouldn't you let us know that? You remember that?
Getting mad all over again.
No, because remember I said if we had known, we would have definitely set ground rules. But we didn't know. So we brought this very troubled young man into our friend's home with their family. And this is what happened. And it was crazy because it really was a wonderful visit and everybody had a great time. It wasn't until he finally got his hands on a phone. And I mean, the second he got that phone, when I looked at the text messages that were sent, because the other parent caught the whole thing right away. Great mom.
Oh,
but
wish they had more just like her. These children wouldn't be experiencing the terrible things that they experience.
But she had a whole transaction, and I mean literally from the second he got that phone, he was working on those kids. And I'm like, how does one play date turn into you being in love? And what that says to me is, I
remember when you had told me.
Yeah.
Like how fast it happened. Like I remember I kept asking, how's the little one? Is he doing better today? Like I remember what you're talking about. He was under the table. Next thing you knew, all hell broke loose.
He was under the table working his gambit right in our faces. But upon his exit, which was part of the reason for his exit, was when we asked, have you written your letter of apology to the children and the family? And he said, no. And I said, well, why didn't you do it yet? And he said, oh, I forgot.
Well,
how did you forget? How did you forget? You created mass trauma in a harmonious home. You forced conversations to be had about things that they weren't talking about in their home. So for his mother to send him to us and tell us nothing true about him. Nothing. Who does that?
The Bible don't give no fuck, that's for sure.
Who takes a distraught, allegedly abused, and depressed young man, give him away to family members to take care of, so you can walk off and act like you didn't cause any of this? Worse than that, the nature of the work that we do, cruelty-free, no abuse, and we have a predator in our home. And I don't blame him. I've been praying for him every day since he left. I'll never forget one morning, right before his departure, I had said to him, nephew, I prayed for you this morning. And I want you to try on something. Believe that you can make the world a better place today. For yourself, for a classmate, for a teacher. But just try that on. I can make the world a little better today. I was like, stop worrying about all of these, you're worrying about identifying and gender bending and all of these things. And you don't even have any idea who you are yet. Put all of this hyper-actual stuff down and just get to know yourself. Get to like yourself. Because I promise you, if you love yourself, you're not going to need anybody who's not interested in you to be interested in.
Yes.
See, when you're good on you and you're loving on you and you're great and you're doing your best, you're going to attract the people who are attracted to you. But trying to scam a little boy and tricking him in to becoming gay just for you, that's not cool. By any means. Of course, his phone was confiscated. That was his punishment. Outside of that, it was school, food, work, sleep, shower, dress. Make sure your bed is clean. Make sure you had an accident, you clean up your bed, whatever. Like, let's just deal with the basics first. Let's deal with the basics of you. And we tried to pour into him every day.
Oh, I know. I was there. I know. I kept saying that he was in good hands with y'all. Like, y'all would have been a safe home for him. He could have been all right. He had so much potential. And he still does. But he needs therapy. He needs counseling. And we also discussed that on the phone that day with the mother. You sure did.
And what did I tell her? If we're going to get him all the way good, we got to get you all the way good too.
You sure did.
I gave her the number to call a program and told her once she went through the phone call, they'll ask if she wants to join, and then they'll tell her how much it costs. I told her, give them my name and tell them that I'm bearing the financial responsibility. Did I not say that to her?
Yeah, you said that.
She never called. Sounds like she didn't want any help. I told her, this whole situation with your son is temporary. the goal is not only to have you two together, but have you two together thriving. Not just being battle buddies, surviving a terrible life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, we want to see you and your son run off into the sunset happy. But we have to work. Yeah, but we have to work on the issues. You remember I was furious.
Oh yeah.
And I was nothing but respectful with her. And then the next time, you know, right before he left, she told Odell, I'm not speaking to that lady. I don't know her.
Girl. I'm about to go off because I was there. Excuse me? Excuse you?
You don't know me.
You don't know her.
Signed over. You signed over guardianship of your son to an uncle he barely knows. We've been taking care of him, making sure he's all right. With him, he was left back in the 6th grade. With us, we got him put in his rightful grade. Like, I'm not understanding. And you remember, Grace, I said, your child is in my house.
Girl, I'm still mad that you said it. Like, she got on that phone like she don't know. Do you remember how many times I said that? Girl.
But she flipped, just like the trolls do. Smile in your face one day, and then they talking cash money crap the next day. And then say, it's your fault when you did nothing at all. Straight troll move.
How is her child being in your house your fault? Somebody please explain.
You want to know what I found even more interesting? When Odell specifically asked her why they weren't taking this situation with the children and the Discord scandal. She said, I sent him there to be with you. I didn't tell you to take him to them people's house. What?
Girl, yes. Girl.
What?
She had the audacity.
I didn't tell you to take him there. What is that supposed to mean?
What is that supposed to mean?
That he's not safe to be around children? And if he wasn't safe to be around children, then why didn't you say so before you sent him?
And before you wanted to pretend like you ain't know me.
Well, I'm like, did you know that he's LGBT? Oh, well, yeah, I just didn't think I needed to say anything. Huh? But, you know, as per the recording that I played earlier, you heard what a mom sounds like, so.
Yeah.
And if you remember on the phone call, she spoke with all of us, me, you, and the other mother, and stated very clearly that she had been abused and traumatized, because I was telling her there's good reason to believe that her son, something has happened to him and we need to get him in counseling. ASAP. You know, he needs help. Because none of this is normal behavior.
No.
And it has nothing to do with LGBT. It's the behavior. He's a wonderful kid. But he has terrible behavior.
And at that age, he got that from
It's a dangerous age for him to be teeter-tottering on what's starting to look like, you know, gender confusion. Because even though he says he's bi, He was only interested in the boy. And then when he was sending messages to the boy, weirding the boy out, he was drawing little caricatures of the two of them together. The boy he had looking like himself, but he had himself in a wedding dress. That ain't bi. That's trans.
Did you notice any
Like
of your
if-
lipstick missing or your shoes out of place?
Well, he didn't come in my room.
I'm just making sure. We just trying to, dot all the I's, cross the T's.
Oh no, nobody comes in my room but me and that man. And if you come into this room, it is only because you are called, and you must turn around and leave. This is our space. I don't invite chaotic energy where I rest my head. It was bad enough. The energy coming off of that kid was so bad from across the hall. I would have to sage, clean the air, burn frankincense just to lighten the energy. It was just so dark.
Let me ask you something since you're expressing it. Did you ever hear babies crying while he was during y'all's time? Well, babies
In my
weeping?
sleep?
You saw
my
it in your
sleep?
sleep?
No, are you
heard
asking-
that in your sleep?
No. Why do you ask?
No, I thought you said you did see it in your sleep. I was just asking if while he was there, did you at any point in time experience hearing babies weeping?
I don't know. I can't even answer that honestly, because there was such a wave of too many emotions and too much stuff, for me to even focus on that part. Like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Anytime I bring someone new into my space, especially now that I'm so clean about the energy in my dwelling, whether it be at my home, whether it be at the studio, whether it be at the hideaway, like wherever we are, you already know how I am.
Yeah, that's why I had asked, because trying to narrow it down.
Yeah,
I hope
would
he
take
hasn't
the-
seen the worst that it could get.
I hope to God not. I just, he is the atypical stereotype of a neglected and misused child. Do you remember when she was sitting there talking about how she always had to be going working and she couldn't afford no babysitter, so she would just leave him at home alone with the phone?
Broke my heart when she said that. Broke my heart when she said that.
But the worst
that was
part,
a lot.
the worst part is the reason why he was really sent here. That's the worst part. Because I told you before he got here, I had a feeling he was being sent here on a dummy mission.
Yep.
They were so desperately looking for an end to my life around Christmas time, trying to hunt me down, trying to track me down, trying to find out where I was. Now, they had all of these pictures, collage pictures that the robot put together, piecing together a model image of a place, and then matching it and comparing it with what's in my background on my lives at the studio. Yeah.
Bruh. All that sound illegal, bruh.
Yeah, but guess what though? There's two things that's really wrong with that. Number one, some of those pictures were from months ago. From months ago, before the boy came. And yet, the robot said it herself. She was waiting for confirmation to see if she had the right place. Sad part is one of those pictures in that collage could have only been taken by someone in the house, and it wasn't taken by me in no doubt. Now, what if we had brought that boy to live in our actual home?
You have these weirdos and creeps trying to hop over your fence and take your drawers from your top drawer or whatever.
Let's look at the timeline.
Let's look at that time, because I don't like the way that timing is set up.
The mother begged for us to take the boy because she couldn't afford to take care of him, and she was allegedly homeless and trying to find a job and this, that, and the third, and so on and so forth, right? So, in the midst of all of that, right? YouTube's trying to figure out where we are. They're trying to find us. They're trying to hunt us down. And then all of a sudden she calls, needing to place her child in our home. Well, if you was doing so bad and you needed us to take him so bad, you remember that day on the phone when we first approached her about the situation with the children? The first thing she said was, "Oh, that's all right. You can just send him back."
She sure did.
And I'm like, nobody's talking about throwing him out, but we do need to address the issue.
Said that.
And you need to be involved. First thing she's, "Oh, you can just send it back." You can just send it back. But I thought you were so desperate to send him because you couldn't take care of him. And guess what? When it started to become obvious that the situation with these children wasn't going to go away, she ain't had no problem with coming to snatch him up. How do you go in less than 2 months from not being able to take care of yourself, not being able to take care of your child, signing over guardianship to your child? Right? Because you're in such dire straits. But you come get them like that? It doesn't sound like you needed to send them away in the first place. Worse than that, on the day we got him his phone, on the day that he enacted that triangulation move on those kids in a predatory nature, that family was sending him a birthday. They was going to send him birthday money. They were still worried about keeping their word. Well, even with all of this going on, we promised him we were going to get this for his birthday, and I'm like, no. But for what we did for him for his birthday, for what that family was willing to do for him for his birthday, even after the offense, they were still worried about keeping their word because they promised him. It's the kind of family this is. Even in the midst of that, they still wanted to keep their word to him because he was complaining about being abandoned by his mother. Guess who didn't get him anything for his birthday?
Who?
His mother. She dumped them off on us and didn't even send a card. You're separated from your child. because you can't take care of him and you say you're displaced and everything is crazy in your life and you need your uncle to step in and help you with your boy. But you love him so much and you didn't even bother to send a card.
Girl. Oh, yeah. She don't get no fuck about that shit. They don't get no fuck about these kids.
At all.
Like, them not giving a fuck, I think is at this point is an understatement. Like, it's almost like these people have a hatred and a despise for children that they take joy in watching them suffer.
I know.
That's the energy I get off these people. Like, y'all enjoy causing children pain.
Well, from what she told us, that's all she experienced as a child. And that's the thing when it comes to generational curses. That's the thing when it comes to breakdown in family structure. That's what happens when you don't have a two-parent family home. Now, I'm not saying that single parents can't get it done. Because they can. There are some amazing single parents out there. But the reason why God created father and mother is so there would be a team working on behalf of the child. And if they have a good, support system around them, now there's a village on top of that team. This young man was deprived of all of that. And if you could have saw him at our friend's home with their children, he was so happy. And they're just great kids. And they knew that he had just been displaced from his mom. And they went extra hard to make him feel extra special. And it really was a lovely visit. It's a shame that it was destroyed because of his compulsions. But it just takes me back to the timeline. When trolls come into your life, whether they're online or in real time, when they come into your life, they come one of three ways. They come as a hero, a damsel in distress, or your biggest fan. And as we've been learning, and as Maddie has been she's been teaching a master class in Troll 101. And I love it. I do
too.
Oh, I love it.
I love it.
But
and of course, her lipstick is just a piece de résistance.
Yes. So, what everyone should know by now is that these are tactics, triangulation tactics, to get into your life so they can either spy on you, manipulate you, or gaslight you.
For anybody who listening too slow, they plotting at all times.
What does it sound like for a 35-year-old mother with one child? With one child. Say that I have to send my child away because I'm this and I'm that and I need you to help me and you're the greatest uncle and I know you're going to teach him and I know, oh my God, my life is so terrible and I need your help and I know you're the best for him and I always wanted him to have a bond with you. Is that not all three troll tactics? Damsel in distress, right? Biggest fan.
Yep.
And then hero worship. I know if anybody can look out for him and give him good, it's you.
Girl, now she hit him with that line.
I really need you to do this. I really need you.
And all of that came after Uncle already allegedly offered her employment and everything else. All she had to do was bring herself home.
He offered her a job before I met her that she flaked on. And we offered her a job last summer in Vegas to be my personal assistant. I was going to pay her a decent day wage. And I told her we would assume all responsibility for the taxes. So don't worry about it. We'll claim the taxes. We'll take the taxes. You keep the money. You remember I said to her that day on the phone when we all were talking. And I said, I'm kind of upset with you because if you had taken the job we offered you last summer, you wouldn't have needed to separate from him at all.
Not only that, do you remember how excited I was for her when you told me you were going to offer that to her? I really wanted, you know.
She got more excuses than a bad father in child support court. Look, at the end of the day, you came with this great need because you were down on your luck and you wanted to make sure your child was in a safe, good environment. And yet you were able to just turn around and snatch him right back up 6 weeks later with no problem. And y'all gonna be just fine? So at Christmas, your life was in an utter wreck. It still is. But you can manage to take care of him now? That doesn't make any sense. Timeline. She calls crying at Christmas. We have him by New Year. The Ali Carter story and all of that was going on. And then that died down. And the next thing you know, it became the hunt for Jaguar Wright. And just days after that boy is no longer in our care, all of a sudden, pictures of my studio. And by the way, it's not just our studio. We share the property with other people that we produce with. The only time I've gone live and cammed up has been at the studio. I would never be stupid enough to let you people into my home. So, all that being said, he leaves and now all of a sudden, you're popped! You're popped! And then I go and I look at the text messages. I sent the text messages to the mother at 12:31 p.m. today, 12th of February. The robot went live around 3 o'clock. She didn't read, the mother didn't read messages until 3:57. And by 5 minutes after 4, her mother, who she don't have no dealings with and who has no dealings with my fiance, calls out of nowhere to see how things are.
Girl.
Even the way she said, hey, bro, it sounds sus as hell. There was no joy in your voice to hear from your brother
Talking about
who
something.
you've been ignoring for 8 months.
And I wish she would lie, because if she had been, I would know who she is already.
I know.
Oops.
So once again, I send the message midday after I announce that what they got and that I believe I know who did it. Actually, not believe I know. We know. Y'all don't need to know too much, but we know. And instantly, that afternoon, she goes live, and the first thing she talks about is, I don't need no kid. I don't know what she talking about. She talking crazy. I got a source. I got a source.
Oh, really?
What could that source possibly be?
What could that source possibly be?
What I also find interesting is that idiot 4 months ago, that idiot robot bragged about the fact that Odell's second ex-wife was an Avenger. Why would his ex-wife, who's so supposed to be this big deal in Hollywood as a producer, even though she ain't got no real credits on nothing at all, and the only person that does have credits at her production company, Walk by Faith, is David Spades. Let's take a look. Do I still have that receipt in here?
Oh, Lord. Keep asking them to leave you alone, but they don't listen. Okay.
No, because they be so busy trying to be smart that they forget how dumb they are. I don't think I had. No, I took it down. I took that down. But David Spades, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you do not know, is the man who filmed, helped co-write, and edited the Funny or Die child PDF video that Tiffany Haddish was hung high for, and Aries Spears just got to skate away from. But David Spades works and worked with, and still does work with, Aries Spears. And David Spades is a partner in the production company Walk by Faith, and his partner is Odell's ex-wife. Meanwhile, we already know all of those women over there in the family are working against him. We already know that they've made very clear that they're doing that. Look at that timing. 12:30, the mother gets messages that she needs to call so we can deal with the situation with her son, because it's real and it has to be dealt with. She ignores me for 4 hours. Doesn't read the messages until almost 4 o'clock. And then her mother, who she says she has no contact with, calls while the robot went live during the midst of this whole time. Talking about, I don't know what she said. She ain't talking about nothing. You know, people need to start paying attention to reality, because when people start defending things that they say are crazy and insane and make absolutely no sense, and they start defending things over and over again, emphatically, loud, it's usually because it's true and they're deflecting. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I didn't. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. But see, the problem is you're working with a band of idiots. And they don't have the cloak that you do they? Because I guarantee you the one thing that young man's grandmother did not expect is that she was going to be live on YouTube tonight. Y'all got to learn how to coach your assets better. Y'all really do. But that's just a little bit too much coincidence, isn't it? She doesn't read the messages until the robot goes live. The robot goes live, denouncing and saying, I ain't got nothing to do with these people. I don't know what Jag is talking about.
Yeah, okay,
And
you
then the
don't know.
grandmother-
Okay.
And then the grandmother calls just a couple minutes later.
Girl, with all types of upset. I'm trying to figure out who you talking to. Didn't even have the politeness to say hello first.
And when I'm sitting there talking to you about this very real situation that could alter your grandson's future, all you want to do is go back and forth like Pee Wee Herman, I know you are, but what am I? And yelling and screaming and hollering a bunch of YouTube rhetoric. I didn't bring up YouTube. I was talking about her grandchild. I didn't bring up YouTube. Why is she? That don't make no sense. And the only way it does make sense is if they're all working together. What do you think, Grace?
It's
I
like
think it's time for that
watching
reading. I think it's time for me to
Alice
just
follow the white
be-
rabbit.
listen to me. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna mute up, and I'm gonna let you finish. It's time for the reading, Grace. You should tell them.
All right, well, for everybody who's playing like they playing, well, I told y'all last time, it's not going to be safe for those who mess with children. Y'all need to start doing right by the children. Your pleasures will be gone. It's all in reverse, and you're surrounded by a ring of fire. That betrayal is going to hang y'all. Fortunately, however, good things are in sight for the children. And that's the only part that gives me any type of hope. And once everything burns to the ground and all of those jewels and diamonds that people were promised when they turn to ash, then all miracles will follow. Oh, and just so it's clear, and Nancy coming for a lot of y'all. I love it when Aunt Nancy pop out, because Aunt Nancy don't be playing. TB, I see you twice on the screen. Can you still hear me? Oh, it disappeared. Secrets are also being revealed. We're just going to speak on it right quick at the moment. Like, as far as the little one here, the women who are on the phone, and I know that we only heard one, but there's multiple of them. All of them, y'all are all working in this same space. Your antics are very familiar of what's been going on this internet. And I just want you all to know too, you have boxed yourself into a tight trap. When I say that the fire is now encircling all of your riches, you were lied to. Your promises will never make it. You were told that you were going to be able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm here to tell you now it was a lie. Great grief is coming for so many of you on the wrong side of things. And the people who are on the wrong side of the things are the people who are constantly trying to find out where people are living. You're constantly sending strangers, paying them $50 to lie, so you can be online for 6 hours. All of y'all running around trying to infiltrate people, new content creators, like all of y'all got so much grief coming your way because you're treasonous. And Spirit don't like none of that. Ooh, this grief card came out of me. But of course, all things must come to an end. But what we're talking about right now specifically, the bad things are coming to an end. That way we have a bright future for tomorrow. I keep telling them that. They don't listen. And yep, everybody who's standing on the side of truth, we're gonna be just fine. Enjoy the show. Y'all on that other side, whoo, it's about to get dark for you. And just a personal, just to let the mother know, from mother to a mother, you mamas over here playing with your kids, shit. Ooh. I told y'all last time, this is not the time to be playing with the children. Do right by the children or you will pay a heavy price. All the mamas that I have seen playing with children on this here internet, you got great grief coming. No, I don't feel sorry for you.
You want to know what's wild? I hear people refer to me as all kinds of names, talking about I don't know how to take care of kids, and I'm mean to kids, and I'm bad to kids, and I'm this and I'm that, and I was an unfit mother, and I never raised my children.
Well, this is why, girl, please. Let me reiterate again. Most
you want to know?
They don't know you
at all. They don't know me at all.
Wait, you came in and out. Say it again.
Oh, I said they don't know me at all.
They don't.
Can you hear me?
I'm like, yeah, I can hear you now.
Mic check 1 2. Okay.
I can hear you, Titty. Oh my, I can hear you just fine. Oh.
Yeah, I was just grabbing a quick receipt. Hold on a second. There we go.
No, it's fine. We're in sync. But yeah, all those people running their mouth.
Huh?
I'm just saying,
I'm sorry.
People running their mouth. This is weird. Every time I keep talking, I hear you. Is there an echo?
Keep going. I'm quiet.
Okay, no, I was just saying, for all them people running their mouth on the internet about you, girl, they don't know you. These are people who got Cheeto dust all in front of their chin. They probably go on chin hairs, and they sit in front of the computer for 10 hours a day and work overtime for free on that computer screen. Like, their opinion doesn't matter. And I'm really, for me, I'm tired of watching the public entertain them. Like, they're really starting to show me that they're not gonna make it because there's nothing left to be saved within them. Who could sit here and listen to any of these people? Like, for real. That's why I commend y'all.
The only people that sit and listen to this craziness are people who enjoy it or people who relate to it. It's just that simple.
That's why I don't have any sympathy anymore. Because if you resonate and if you're entertained by liars, scammers, manipulators, and allegedly it's starting to look like a lot of these people are criminals in their real world, and that's why they spend so much time in this virtual one. Like, if you enjoy that type of content, most of the time when I get on here, I'm talking to them. Skip the dumb ones that have the shows. They're doing what untrained animals do. They're just being beasts of the earth. I'm not worried about them. It's the people that follow them. Woo, child. Like, there's a whole world of people out there trying to save them. And then when I look at this world, I'm like, listen, I'm not about to be boo-boo the fool. They don't want it. Because
honey, you saw what it said in the Bible. From Gog to Magog, they will all choose to fall. We can't.
That dream. That dream, girl. Like, that's what flashed in my head when you said that again. I'm like, it is. And the rest of us can't go mad in Wonderland with them. You get what I mean? Like, that's why I tell y'all, I'm so sorry y'all have to deal with this. Like, it's going to be over soon. These people are going to be out y'all's lives very soon. because, like, look at it. You can see it. You can see them.
You can't harvest this amount of evil and negative energy without it snapping back onto you. There's no way. And that's the sad part about it. Because while they're going out of their way to do their worst, they don't realize they're doing it to themselves.
Yeah. That's what I keep telling them. All the shenanigans they got going on is gonna fail. All of them. Like, there's no spoon. We live in a reality where there's no spoon. And this is what they choose, or no?
Yeah.
No.
That's what they choose. Monkey
no,
business.
you can keep that raggedy ball headed shit over there. Like, go over there.
Oh, by the way, I found that receipt.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
Also alleged that Mr. Doe was groomed, groped, molested, and essayed, aided and abetted, and filmed by David Spades. You know, birds of a feather flock together.
Okay, say that again for the ones in the back, child.
They flock together. We got an ex-wife that works with this man right here on the screen, David Spades. Like a true-born narcissist, recruited a bunch of family members who are not her blood family, but my fiancés. And they've all been working together, rallying to create this terrible circumstance to try to make a good man and a good woman look bad for no reason at all.
I got one reason, but we'll move on.
No reason at all.
Ball-headed whole antics. I told you, they just envious inside. Girl, they're so green inside, they spoiled.
We got a woman who trashed her marriage and family and is now playing victim for no good reason at all. There was no counseling. There was no therapy. There was nothing.
Oh, no.
Just a straight divorce. He moves on with his life, meets me, and all of a sudden, I'm being called a mistress. In order for me to be a mistress, we would have been having an affair while he was involved in his marriage, and he wasn't. He was gone. He moved out, and we've been living together ever since. So, this woman tanked her decent black family so that she could try to make some kind of fake faith-based religious production company with this man, David Spades, who aided, abetted, and filmed. And this is who is disloyal women in my dear heart's biological family. These are his biological people doing this to him. Just like my biological people did what they did to me with Tasha K. See, there's too many similarities. But what I do know is we got a grandmother who was accused by her daughter of allowing her to be great and molested by people that she allowed in her home.
By the way, Grandma was being all ignorant on that phone and calling her daughter all kinds of liars. That's what she said, not us. I'm inclined to believe the daughter.
It was too defensive.
I'm inclined to believe the daughter.
If it was not true, If it was not true, outrage wouldn't
Grandma
have
would
been
have
her
had manners.
response. No, outrage wouldn't have been her response. Laughter would. Just like when people come to me and try to tell me about my childhood, or tell me about my kid's childhood, or tell me about this, or tell me about that, I have to laugh at them because it's insane. It's absolutely insane to believe a bunch of rhetoric that you got off of YouTube, which is being proven to manipulate real information for disinformation. Why am I talking about your grandson and the situation with your grandson, and your response is to holler and scream and talk about YouTube and to spit off a bunch of lying details that came from a bunch of people that she's not supposed to know.
Right.
And rattling it off with pride and disdain.
Girl.
Meanwhile, I'm telling you that if we don't get your grandson help immediately, he might end up in jail for the rest of his life with the kind of behaviors that he's got going on. The second that I brought up what was happening with him, she had nothing to say, and there was no concern for him. He ain't never been in no crazy house. He ain't never been in no crazy. He's a 13-year-old young man. Why would he have been in a crazy house? And let's be clear about this. Anytime I've been in a hospital, it was because someone lied to get me there. And if they thought I was insane, and if they thought I was crazy, that would have been the diagnosis that they would have given me when I left with the prescription. And yet, no medicine, no prescription, and my psych eval says that I'm perfectly sane. So once again, who you talking to, Grandma?
We trying to figure it out, Grandma. Who is you hollering and talking to?
I think we already know. You got an ex-wife who works with people who prey on children. You have a grandmother who allowed people allegedly, by what her daughter told us, out of her own mouth.
Okay.
Predators. The daughter has been nothing but a neglectful mother and has lied about so much. Because didn't she tell us on the phone that she was only investigated by CPS? And that she went through everything and they left her alone?
Yeah, that's what she said.
That's not what Odell found out when he went to the courthouse. That child had been taken from her.
Poor children.
Before. She didn't get him back until he was, what, about 4? Anything could have happened to that boy. Wow. He was not with her. Anything could have happened. And for her to sit there and willfully admit that she saw him engaging with adults inappropriately online, and that grown men were approaching her son online, and you left the technology on? When we went through his phone, before we turned his phone on, we had to go through and erase so much stuff.
Oh, wow.
So many numbers. That boy lives in that phone. That boy lives online, and he's been doing so since he was a small child. I mean, that's what she told us. She said that she would go out to work and leave him in the house with the phone and the TV, and to keep himself while she was in the street. No child care. The way that boy operates online, he could have let anybody in the door while she was just
The age
gone.
of 4 till he came back.
But what I am sure of is that something has happened to that young man.
Mm-hmm.
And now, whatever he's learned online, he's using against other children.
Mm.
We got an ex-wife that works with Predator. We got a grandmother who apparently associated with Predator. We have an absentee, neglectful, totally screwed up mom who's not protecting this young man from the world in any way.
In any way.
And now we have a young man who's going to have to deal with what he's done to an innocent family that just welcomed him into their home and showed him nothing but love and care and fun in a wholesome way. And he took that experience and turned it into a nightmare for that family.
Not only that, he's going to have to face the consequences on his own, because clearly, aside from you and Unc, and we can't count the family that he impacted, there is nobody that's going to care about him. The rest of the adults in his life have proven that they do not care. Because when y'all constantly went to them to tell them what was going on, they showed complete disregard.
Oh my God.
All of them.
They act like nothing even happened at all.
I promise they act like they didn't hear you.
What's worse
Still
is
all this time.
No, but what's worse than that, Grace, is that they don't think they gotta clean that mess up.
Girl, that's the part that's wild and will make me go off for hours. Like,
they could sue me.
Mm-hmm.
They could sue me. I brought that boy into their home. There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than watching a perfectly good, sweet, adorable kid be turned into a monster.
Mm.
Oh my goodness. People really don't think they go this far. They used a child to trap us.
Mm-hmm.
They used a troubled child with serious issues that have not been dealt with, and they sent him like a loaded pow-pow out into the world.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And that's the worst. That's the worst kind of evil. I already said what I said.
And it's so sad because what's happened to him isn't his fault. But he will be held accountable for what he's done.
Because the adults that let it happen to him wasn't shit. And they still don't care even now while we talking about it.
And meanwhile, oh no, what they care about is that the jig is up.
Oh yeah. That's all they care about.
That's what they care about. The jig is up. Just one more time for the cheap seats for those who might have missed it.
Mm.
Oh, hold on a second. Turn the volume back up. I got so much stuff going on, chat. Hold on.
Did you want me to hang on with that?
beat your ass, bitch. That's the way. I don't want to know. You know what, hoe? You know what, bitch? Do it now. You know what, bitch? Do it now. You don't know that. Say no, bitch. You don't know me. You don't know me. You don't know me. I know all about you. You don't know me. Your daughter told me. You don't know me. Lies. Lies. Just like how you do it yourself. You need to be in a mental institution, bitch. Get some help. You become.
Didn't say nothing.
Your child hasn't been loved anyway. You don't know, bitch. You don't know who I've been talking to. I know you talk to. You don't know who I've been talking to. You don't know I talked to her. You don't know that. You're not that smart. You're not that smart. And you're not that same, bitch. You're insane. You're not that sick of it. You're mentally
Oh,
disturbed.
girl.
You're mentally disturbed. And y'all going down a dark rabbit hole. And you guys are so fucking. How is he disturbed? Where did you get that diagnosis from? Nutty. I know my brother. I don't raise me. You don't. You barely know. Yes, I know. You don't even know your stuff. Back in you. You don't even know your stuff. I know exactly what you look like. I don't give a fuck with your teacher. I don't give a fuck. Yes, they're all the same. I give a fuck. Bitch, you ain't never been to my household. I don't give a fuck. Now I'm sorry. So if you're tired of the bullshit. Your grandson doesn't know how many days you eat. Your grandson doesn't know how many days are in a week. Actually, no, he was taken in by a state and now he's grooming children in this school. Your why don't you get your keys, Miss and get your bucket to go around your head? Maybe that'll help out your son. That's why you're always in the shit. I'm a proud motherfucking janitor. I'm a proud liar.
Girl, ooh, girl.
You know what?
I love how they just need the attention, child. They need it.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, I know she ain't call nobody anybody's devil. Miss Lady, you come on. Like I still can't hear what she's saying. She's so loud and ignorant and wrong. And I had to articulate all of that. Because girl, hearing her, like she's the reason why our men talk about us on the internet with other communities of people. She the reason. Females in her ilk like her.
Part of the reason why I'm sharing this is simply because this is how dangerous YouTube has become.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is how dangerous the internet is. You got Acadiddy trying to broom with a G a 15-year-old boy on Discord. We have been put in the unfortunate situation of now having to deal with a minor being on the same predatory behavior on Discord. This is no joke. This is no joke. And all she can talk about is me and Odell and all of the lies that she's now passing around in real life. Threatening to do physical harm to me because of lies that she heard online. Meanwhile, at no point in time, any of what you heard or any of the other stuff that I'm not sharing online, did you hear her once say to her brother, I might not mess with you, but thank you for taking my grandson in?
No, everybody was ungrateful. Everybody was ungrateful and sorry.
Because guess what?
And then these are the types.
She didn't do anything for her grandson on his birthday either. The only people that did anything for that young man on his birthday were us and the family he violated. His grandmother did nothing for him. Nothing. I'm not going to say his name. I'm not going to say any of the children's names. But what I will say is please tonight, say a prayer for our nephew. This doesn't stop him from being our nephew. It doesn't matter. When you agree to caretake and love someone, you have to be willing to do it through the good and the bad. We called his mother and told his mother what had happened. And the first thing she said was, oh, you can just send it back. I had to literally tell her, this isn't about getting rid of him. This is about getting rid of the behavior, not him. The behavior. But the both of you guys need help. And we're willing to stand in the gap.
You told her that too? Oh, you told her that too? You told her that you didn't mind helping her too. You wanted to help them both together.
I told her the only way he gets better is if she gets better. Because, I mean, all he ever talked about regarding her was how bad it was and how hard it was and how bad he felt for her and the men in her life or this and that. Like, it was just... I don't know if he's figured it out yet that what he's doing isn't love. It's pity. A child at any age should never pity their parent.
Mm-mm.
At any age.
Mm-mm.
But see, what pity does is it creates false protection. See, oh, I feel so bad for you. I feel so bad for you. I feel so bad for you. Let me help you. Let me cover it up. Let me fix this. Let me do that. I feel so bad for you. See, that has become his plight in life. Being there to help her pick up the pieces because she doesn't know how to.
That is so unfair. Like, I despise it. They take these children's chance at childhood away because they didn't have one. And instead of reparenting themselves as adults, they just snatch away the children's childhood too. Girl, don't get me started.
You know how many parents I know are jealous of their kids?
Ooh. Ooh.
You know I know
how
a
many
lot of
mamas
parents
out there let grown men violate and visit their daughters because their daughters was pretty.
You mean like that woman's daughter said about her? Because that is that woman that we just listened to on the call. That's exactly what her daughter said about her. Are we looking at a pattern here?
Yeah.
At all points of this aggression that's been turned and aimed at me and Odell, it's all coming from people who are suffering with serious actual problems. Predatory nature. And we're the bad guys. You got an ex-wife working with this man's name who's still on the screen, David Spades. You see what the court document says about him. That's a receipt. That's not made up. That's a receipt. Not getting a picture of some weird person with no face on it and saying, oh yeah, that's Jaguar, laugh at her, look at her. No, this on the screen is a receipt that came from a court document. What real mother would work with a guy like that?
A real piece of shit. My opinion.
That's the ex-wife. Meanwhile, you got the crazy grandmother who's, never going to be my sister-in-law, who wants to beat me up at my wedding.
Girl.
Who wants to beat me up at my wedding. You can tell she's Tyler Perry brainwashed.
Girl, that's fine. We'll handle her at the church house. Let the church say amen. Don't worry, we got it.
You
Send us
have
out
this.
there. Your job is to look beautiful.
You have this never will be my sister-in-law grandmother who allegedly allowed people to abuse her daughter in her home.
Girl.
Also, allegedly, her ex-husband said it was true.
Oh.
Predator. Now we have a daughter whose son is taking on predatory behavior at a very, very, very crucial age. Birds of a feather flock together. Of course, me and Odell are the bad guys. Why wouldn't we be the bad guys? We stand up against these kinds of people. Why would they be nice to us?
So we don't care. The good guys are starting to get real mean these days. Keep it up.
It's okay. But I wanted everybody to see this is what happens when the troll farm goes real world. They go and find the dumbest, stupidest, most degenerate
Mm.
people they can find out there, make them feel special, and then get them involved. I'm sure making promises along the way, no doubt.
Oh, of course. They ain't got nothing. Only people who were promised something would behave like this.
Yeah.
People with futures, real ones, aren't doing this. People who have families and real lives aren't doing this.
Oh, I know.
And with all of the alleged criminal behavior that they're displaying online, can you imagine their real life activities? Because if they're doing this type of stuff on the internet and it looks illegal, I wonder what the fuck y'all got going on at home.
Honey,
I wonder.
all I'm going to say is, if y'all want to get an opinion about me, you should probably get it from someone who's been around me.
Levelings that ain't level, but this shit is fact.
Baby, let's get
Hold on, wait, you gotta hear this shit.
You heard her about her persona, but you met her in person. What do you?
She's a baby doll, sweetheart. But we already know this. All right,
Because people think she's, and then
Yeah.
meet her in person, you're like,
yeah, it's just a perception that everybody else has. But once they get past that part, she's normal, just like us. Just like real people, That's the difference. When you're authentic, people can't take it. Okay. I mean, because people say the same thing about me. They're like, "Oh, I thought you was gonna be an ass." And I'm like, "Bro, I'm so sweet. I'm chilling." You know what I mean? And I feel like she'll just handle people how they treat her, and that's just what it is, and that's just law with anything. Yeah.
Ain't that the truth? Ruth. I only give as good as I get. And the truth is I could have been so much meaner to her.
Girl, you sure could have. I already told you.
Honestly, I was a
Wonderful
little
job
flabbergasted.
keeping
No, but I was flabbergasted at the fact that I'm sitting there spitting real life details about the trouble that her grandson has gotten her in. And all she wants to talk is YouTube crap. I wish somebody would hit me up, or I call somebody and they tell me, "Hey, your grandson did this to these kids."
It's wartime. It's wartime. It's wartime.
Number one, the first thing I'm not going to do is become defensive. I want to know what happened, right? Did she ask what happened?
Girl, not only did she not ask, she said her daughter is a liar. Said it twice. Alleged my ass. That lady said it.
She's a liar. She's a liar. Why are you saying that?
I thought this was your daughter, man. But then want to turn around and try to talk about somebody else as a mother. Oh, no, ma'am, you going to address everything you said first.
I tell you one thing. For her to not be a YouTuber, she sure acts like one.
Girl, yeah, she sounded very familiar. Especially her talking points. And, you know, we study mainstream media all the time. So we know when narratives
and since people forget things, so quickly, I just wanted to run down the timeline leading up to the threat to beat me up and beat me up at my wedding.
Girl, at your wedding. Who and where we gonna be? And where we gonna be? Where we gonna be at? She threatened somebody at somebody else's wedding.
This morning. I forgot to hit her. I have to hit her. She's reminding us we have to pay attention to that. So let's just go over the timeline. I sent the mother a message at 12:31 p.m. regarding the situation with her son, so we could start getting this resolved, because there's no real action being taken on any of the parts of the people who are responsible. That was at 12:31. The robot went live between 2 and 3 o'clock, and my messages from the mother weren't read until 3:57. And then her mother called just a few minutes later. That's just too much of a coincidence.
Yeah.
That's just too much of a coincidence. Your mama and your daughter, you don't talk, y'all don't get along, y'all don't have nothing to do with each other. I send her a message. She don't respond. She don't read it until 4 o'clock, and you're calling within 10 minutes? That's too much of a coincidence. Meanwhile, the YouTuber whose rhetoric you were repeating to me, damn near verbatim, was live at the same time saying, I don't know these people. I got a source. I got a source. That's insane. The timing of it all.
It's madness, isn't it?
I'm talking about your grandson in a very serious situation, and you're talking about YouTube. Spitting it and
that sounds
spouting
like somebody
it off
whose mind is not well.
Oh no, her mind is definitely not well. That's why I said, when she sat there, all of y'all is crazy MFers and all of y'all are this. And I'm like, well then it sounds like you should be minding your business, because what person would choose to engage in craziness? Mind you, she's talking God this and God that and hellstone and Brim Nation and I'm nuts and I'm crazy. And she's sitting there screaming at the top of her lungs, calling me 80 billion bags of bitches. Sounding like that other content creator, Incoming Opinion. Like,
Lord. Oh Lord.
You're not family. You're not. No, sweetheart. You're not family.
Bitch.
Because family is as family does. Blood, sometimes it ain't no thicker than water.
Y'all disloyal like I don't even know what. You better get out of here.
But at the end of the day, you said your daughter was a liar
multiple times,
and you didn't care if your grandson was a pervert.
Screaming so loud.
Those were her words.
They sure were.
And then she said, "You're a pervert too. I know you are, but what am I?" Are you kidding me? We have to get to the point where we start addressing why everyone is so quick to totally overlook all of these children being mistreated.
I'm not.
That young man is the worst kind of victim. Because he doesn't even know it. There's nothing worse than
they might just do nothing more than pass him on to the next person that may put him in a dangerous situation. Because after all, these women have displayed tonight that they have zero interest for the child's well-being.
I know.
And if they can so easily place him with you guys, and even though that was the safest home for him, and then because of what took place, he now has to return to his mother. And again, they have shown me again tonight that there is no care for this child whatsoever with these women. And so they seem like the type that they would just go to the next willing participant that would probably, they're good heart. They're gonna try to help. Coming to find out that they put the child in the hands of someone scary.
The way he chooses friends online,
I don't even want to think.
His whole life is scary, if you ask me.
It really is.
And it's been scary.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And all I'm going to
say, he doesn't have anyone to make sure that he has something to eat. He's not going to have anyone to make sure that
this isn't over. Listen to me. This isn't over. But the most important thing is making sure that he gets the help that he needs. Period.
Mm-hmm.
In this day and age, and especially with the new president that we have in office now.
Oh, you better be mindful, people.
Things are going to look a little tight for the LGBTQ community. A lot of the things that have been allowed to just go through casually are going to be looked at with heavy scrutiny. So for those of us who are a part of the LGBTQIA plus community, it is our job to make sure that we represent who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And we are not predators.
Oh yeah, I don't like how the evil ones, the predators, they've been hiding in the mist. I don't support that. By all means, the LGBTQ, get the predators out your community. They using y'all as a scapegoat, and y'all should not stand for it.
We have a lot of predators that are posing as LGBTQ plus IA.
They're masquerading out there. Don't let them play with your name like that. Don't do it.
The community has now provided a mask for very dangerous people to put on. We got to do a better job. There's absolutely no way in the world, after all of the fuss that was made about Shanquilla Robinson, that the LGBT community shouldn't have been spearheading the efforts to have what I do believe is a fake trans, a man in makeup who took that young woman's life. We should have cleaned that up. Why didn't we? Why didn't the community go after that person for what they did to that innocent young woman out of jealousy and greed? That's not LGBTQ. It's not. But because it's an alternative lifestyle, it allows predators to hide and slip through the cracks, pretending to be a part of the community, while they use it as their hunting ground. We have to do better by these kids. And for us to be going,
children, we will have no future.
I know. And they don't care. They just want to keep the machine going. They want Jay-Z and Diddy and Beyonce and the Kardashians to be heroes and to be this and to be that and yada yada and the woo woo woo. That's what they're worried about. They ain't worried about these kids.
They mad that Lil Wayne didn't do the Super Bowl. Oh, child.
Well, then they should be mad at the man that took it from him. Mr. Carter took it from him and gave it to Kendrick. And Kendrick did an amazing job. Amazing.
Broadway. Imagine that man with 2 full hours in the singer. Girl. Tragic. We're not going to go there.
Amazing. It was
Girl,
amazing.
It was everything. And I'm trying to keep it cool because
sadly enough, they all missed it.
Girl, I can weep for all of them that missed it, but I don't care. But we're not gonna weep. We heard what we heard.
But see, it's why they missed it. It's why they missed it. Is nobody looking at the number of views on the Beyonce Bowl versus the Kendrick Bowl?
Are people still looking at Beyonce with that raggedy ass?
No, they're really not.
Oh.
They're really not at all. Those numbers stifled off real quick. And Kendrick's numbers blew hers away on Christmas. Even with all of the hate and vitriol happening in the backdrop. But once again, all of the hate surrounding Kendrick's performance was on YouTube, not anywhere else.
Girl, you do know that I have a theory on that.
Instagram started to mimic it, and then TikTok jumped on with the worst Super Bowl ever. You
want to know how I knew that they was playing a game on the internet when I finally saw it? Because TD, you know the Superdome.
I know.
You know the Superdome.
I know.
That's how I knew that they lying on the internet. For anyone who doesn't know about that Super Bowl, go to your favorite NFL player and ask him why he can't stand playing in there. It is loud. It's loud every night. I've been in there. I promise you. Everybody who was in that dome, they still yelling because their ear, they done blew out their eardrums. You heard the dome shaking from your living room.
Yeah. If you were in Louisiana.
Bruh, look, the TVs didn't look like that everywhere else. Girl, we left the house. The dome was shaking on TV. And I saw it 2 days later. Y'all, the Superdome was knocking. That words can't describe how loud it was in there. Girl, the president was in there.
And not just sound. The energy was loud.
Girl, everything was hype. Girl, they lying. Girl, I knew they was lying on the internet. I said, no, y'all lying.
But girl, we gonna have to do a whole nother live about that.
Girl, because
I didn't realize we did for all 2.5 hours.
Oh no. I guess the fight for truth, right? It never sleeps. But you're gonna get your rest tonight. You're gonna get your rest tonight. That way we can shine bright for another day.
Absolutely. I'm gonna get my rest every night. I'm gonna get my good sleep. I'm gonna plan the wedding that I'm gonna get beat up at. And I'm gonna get prepared to release the first episode of the Jaguar Wright show.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. Look at that. After all of the headache that they've been trying, and now look.
Well, all of this distraction is to distract us from doing this. They want to keep us busy with them so that we can't be busy doing what we need to do for the world. And that ends now.
You hoes lose. Game over.
That ends now.
That was not intended. No pun intended. Girl, we're going to talk about that show tomorrow. Girl, I'm about to watch it again. Just cause.
You got any final words?
Children, keep your vibrations high. Don't end up getting incarcerated doing silly shit on the internet. Remember, the internet is for entertainment purposes only or research purposes only. Stop playing with your own life on the internet. It will not end well. And for those who do not do right by the children, I'm not going to tell you no more. It's a wrap. You might as well stay where you at. Stay where you at. And wait for the wrath. It's coming. Spirit is far from pleased.
People that hurt children, in my opinion, deserve no mercy.
None. And just so we can, picture it politely, you see how Kendra looked straight at that camera and said that. Now, TD, we're going to have a gangster moment right quick. Girl, you know how many prisons they got in America?
I know.
You know that Super Bowl was playing in all of them.
I know.
My boy, that's what I think everybody who plays with children. That's the standard for you in my head. YouTube is sensitive, so I can't tell you what I truly feel. They're sensitive. I'll wait for the Jaguar Wright show one day. Bitch.
What I will say is this. Anybody who hurts a child, I pray you experience everything you did to that child. I pray that it happens to you at whatever age you're at. You know, people who prey on children, I think there's a special place in hell for them.
Girl, please, hell no. See, hell is this is hell. People who hurt children, bitch, you gonna have many lifetimes of suffering. I'm gonna keep it at that. Ooh, I almost went there.
Just like I told that woman when she started talking about God this and God that, after doing all that cussing and doing all that.
Lucky she didn't get struck right there on that line. She's lucky she didn't get struck by lightning.
Lucky she didn't have a stroke. She sounded like she about to pop a gasket. But the
girl,
thing
I
is,
don't care. Girl, enough for the lightning to come straight through the roof.
You can play with God all you want. We already know where God is. He ain't with you. Look at your life. You're a janitor.
Oh no.
With a daughter that can't stay gainfully employed, who pawns her son off on good people.
Girl, not a 300-pound janitor. Oh no. Girl, she probably be hollering at school children during school.
She ain't nothing but the female bookman.
Girl, not 300 pounds
from Good Times. She ain't nothing but the female bookman from Good Times. Girl, and you honestly think that someone like me could actually be offended by someone like you? It's sad. They should have coached you better. They should have coached you better. On that note, guys, how to spot a troll in real life and know when they're being influenced by online. They do too much.
They do the most.
They need hobbies. All right, y'all. We out of here. Until next time.
Mustard! Girl, I'm sorry.
My name is Jaguar Wright, guys. Not that y'all don't know that, but I hope you enjoyed this reading with grace. We out.
Took up on my children.